130 trustees. Just like, it was pretty cool.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Today is Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
Thank you. Council, would you mind reading the closed session items into the record?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. There are 4 items for your closed session today under labor negotiations with your designated representatives, Director Gomez and Susan Carter. The employee organization is all units, and that's under Government Code Section 54957.6. The same existing litigation that was on your agenda last week is placed back on your agenda for a consultation with your legal counsel. We were also more specific to include the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy matter on the agenda for you and members of the public. Also under Government Code Section 54957, there's public employee performance evaluation of your veteran service officer and your chief clerk of the board. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Are there any members of the public who have any comments regarding our closed session items? Hearing and seeing none, we will recess into closed session. See you soon.
Oh, thank you. Oh. I told Holly about you.
Mics are live.
Excited. It made her feel better. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Today is Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. Council, is there anything to report out of closed session?
Thank you, Chairman. There's no reportable action from your closed session, but there still are items for you and the board to discuss. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We'll move on to the portion of the meeting that we remember folks and we'd like to open and close our meeting in memory of. And Supervisor Wheeler, I believe you have somebody you'd like to.
Thank you. Rochelle Duvall, who works for us, her sister passed away, Marcia Nash Roberts, and I just wanted to tell her we're thinking about her and so sorry.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Are there any other individuals somebody like to remember?
Larry and Penny Stafford were both killed in a cycle accident without children.
Who did?
Larry and Penny Stafford.
Oh, I've seen that the most up on 145. It's
Yeah, it's tragic. Tragic. In fact, their daughter was killed like biking accident. Still have two daughters, but very tragic.
Is there anybody else? All right. Seeing and hearing none, thank you for those comments. We'll now move to the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. We have Pastor Mike Farmer of the 4th Street Church of God will lead us in the invocation, and I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in prayer. Father, once again, we're just delighted to be able to come to this place, a place that you've given to us to live. Lord, you are the Lord of all creation. All creation gives you praise and glory. Lord, our desire today is to do the same. And Father, as we gather together, we remember the families of those who were just mentioned and ask that you be with them, provide for them whatever it is they need in this moment. We have for this council, continue to grant them the wisdom, the guidance, the understanding that they need to direct this county and guide us in the business of this county. So be with them, and bless their families as well, Lord, I pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America.
Liberty.
Thank you. We'll move on to the public comment portion of the meeting. And as a reminder, the first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record. Are there any members of the public wishing to provide comment at this time?
Good morning, Supervisor Petris. Connie Moreno-Praza, your Director of Behavioral Health Services. I'm just very glad and excited to introduce you to Carlton D. Holmes. He's our new Fiscal Manager in Behavioral Health Services.
Good morning. My name is Carlton Holmes. I'm the new fiscal manager at Behavioral Health Services, and I'm here to serve the community and the county.
Very good.
Welcome.
Well,
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where'd you come from?
Originally from Louisiana, most recently from Lancaster, California.
A little bit cooler here than Lancaster, I guess.
Much cooler. Much cooler. But I'm happy to be of any service, and if you have anything that you need from me, again, I'm available. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Two Lancasterans. Is that what they call it?
Right.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Jared Carter of Public Works. Just wanted to quickly update you. We've started our phase 2 projects for SB1, the 2021 year projects in the valley here. Currently working up on Road 16 near the Chowchilla area and working our way kind of down and around through the area. So all said, we'll have about another 22 miles of road rehabilitated and reconditioned once this project's done. And then we're already working on the next set of projects to have those out early next year. So just want to give that update.
Fantastic.
Thank you for that. They're
Thank
doing
you.
a great job. out there.
We appreciate the headaches because it makes things better.
All right. Any other public comment? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yeah, we had our Visitors Bureau meeting last week, and I just wanted to, they put out this fun facts sheet, and it's like in June, the visitors that came to the Visitors Bureau office in Oakhurst was up 23%. Some of the international visitors, the main was 21 from Mexico, 15 from Germany, and 14 from Colombia. And the domestic visitors, where they were from, 3,662 from California, 228 from Texas, 199 from Arizona. And some of the most often asked questions is, how do we get a reservation? If we don't get it, what happens? But luckily, we got all the bus services, including yards, that stopped at Visitor Bureau. And if you ride a bus, you don't have to have a reservation. That's really been, Bob and I was going someplace Friday, and the yards bus is sitting there, and there was a whole line of people like from here to the screen getting ready to get on. They come here, and they realize they can't get in Yosemite. They ride the bus, they get in.
Excellent.
Really, really different this year. Thank you.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you. Are there any other members of the public wishing to provide comment? If not, we'll move on to the consent calendar, and we will be pulling item C,
D and E.
D and E, and C will be presented by our council, and we'll be pulling D and E. And are there any other items? All right. With that, Council Garza.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. Item C is, I would say, anything short of routine and normal. It's been a long time in the making, and I'm happy to stand here and give you a summary of what's before you to consider for approval. If you recall, back in 2014, the Chachansey Gold Resort and Casino shut down for a period of time. In 2015, this board discussed retroactive payments that were needed to be contributed to the county, along with working with the tribal council to help reopen the casino. And that was accomplished along with the purchase of a fire apparatus that has a large or a ladder that can extend upwards to help with fire suppression. And then in 2015, this board initiated a request to negotiate the 2007 MOU. And since then, you have created a negotiating team that has worked year after year. And I would say that the majority of the work has been to build a stronger relationship with the tribal council. There have been members of our own negotiating team that have switched for reasons that the chairman changes every year here, and members of the tribal negotiating team have transitioned. But through those years, there has been an exchange of data, some discussion about fire services and mutual aid, additional requests for law enforcement services to help maintain peace and order at the rancheria, and one of the long negotiated settlements completed, meaning the grants that were distributed to the community over a period of years that has ended, and the county worked with the tribe to wrap up that settlement. And a summary of what's before you that for members of the public and you that have in front of you that's different than what was posted on the agenda is a fully signed version of the MOU by the tribe. It's available for the public here, hopefully online, but the version that we posted wasn't yet fully completed signatures by the tribe, but they have approved that unanimously by the tribal council. And what this new MOU provides is additional law enforcement services that are available to the tribe. It's something that's been occurring for a few years that works for them and for Madera Sheriff's Office. Also, an increased firefighter at Fire Station 8, number 8, which is right outside the casino. There will be a new firefighter that's added to that team beginning here shortly. And also some real discussions and a guarantee of a 4th firefighter to protect the rancheria and the surrounding areas if a certain threshold is met, meaning if the casino or the parking lot or the hotel expands a certain percentage, then there's agreement by the tribe to add a 4th firefighter, of course, to think about public safety. And also with that is an agreement that for now, that's the impact payments, but there's always the availability for the council and this board of supervisors to continue to have discussions and talk about any necessary items that come up related to this MOU or sharing our communities. There's also requests that this board join the tribal council for a public event either on the 29th of this month, which is next week, or the 30th up at Fire Station number 8 to celebrate what we hope to be an amended and reinstated MOU. So with that, our members of the negotiating team has been Supervisor Wheeler because of his district and his relationship with the tribe, and the chairman. I know that Supervisor Frazier served a few years as we've done this along with the CAO, myself. We've had finance, Chief Watson, Sheriff Pogue, Connie has
Sheriff Barney.
Sheriff Barney. Connie has joined us. We've had Joel at the table, Matt. So there has been a group effort over the years to get to where we are here today, and I'm happy to recommend approval to this board, and happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Frazier.
Another question. I just wanted to publicly thank the tribe for staying in it with us and working through it. This was a long process, a long road to get here, but I find I understand more up there. I've made a lot of great friends through the negotiation processes, and it was like we said, very long and arduous at times, but it's so important. This MOU with the tribe and what they mean to our economy and our area. We're neighbors and friends now from this, and I think a lot of times at the end of negotiations that take this long, you don't get to that point. And I think it shows a lot about our negotiating team as well as their negotiating team, and it's a very, very big day compared to where it was, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and I just want to thank everybody involved. It was really a team effort, and I think we all came together as a team on both sides of the table. So thank you to them, and I look forward to a community event to highlight this and show what it does for the overall community.
Very good. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Regina, for giving a kind of a thing when they were trying to get back open after they got shut down in 2014. We almost had that MOU done and for them to open up January 1st, 2016. And at the last minute, we even had a special meeting go and they canceled. So since that time on January 2016, they actually told us right here in here that they would have the new MOU with us done by that February 2016, because that's when the other one was running out, and but it didn't happen. So after many meetings, I can't even tell you how many, but I got a file that's that big on different things that we went over, from taking over the fire department, from hiring more people, from getting the ladder truck running. Went through 2 sheriffs, 2 different chairmen of the board, and it's finally come to fruition. It's like Brett said, I think this new council has really been wanting to get this done and working with us, and it'll be a pleasure to have that, hopefully, that signing that day of the 29th or the 30th up there at fire station. And I just want to thank all the tribal members, not just the council, but the council especially, for all the hard work that we went back and forth in getting this done. So it's been frustrating, it's been happiness, it's been in between, and you name it, but we're here, and I hope that day after we pass this, Mr. Rob can sign this and get it right to him. So.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will open up for public comment on all the consent calendar items after we've discussed all of the items that supervisors like to have pulled. So moving on to item D. This is the transfer of $55,000 for self-insurance dental liability.
Yeah, I wanted to, I know, thanks for the message. I didn't even see it till this morning, about 8:30. But I just, isn't there some way that we can have in there that it's cost of living or whatever it is it has to do, so we don't have to do this stuff, so it'll be taking care of itself year after year?
So, good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Michelle May with Human Resources. Thank you for the question. So the self-insured dental fund, the recommended action for the $55,000 transfer is still within that dental fund. So each year we budget what we anticipate the claims and the cost will be for the year. The claims, as you imagine or probably understand, they fluctuate.
Yeah.
And so while we do monitor, and we did know that it was getting close near the very end of the fiscal year, but we weren't sure if it was going to go over the budgeted. So that's why the item was brought to you right now. So by the end of, actually by last month is when we recognized that we would have a shortfall. There's still money within the fund. It's just from the
Okay,
appropriations.
and like how much money's in that fund?
So the appropriations after this there's approximately about $229,000 still in the appropriations.
So we have the money in the
Yes.
fund.
Yes.
Just, they don't explain that thing, and it says this is the first time we've had to do this for quite a few years.
Correct.
10 years, I think.
Yes, thank you for that question. So the actual dental premiums that we charge have not been adjusted for 10 years. So they have remained status quo, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And so the premium cost per month is pretty standardized, so it fluctuates a little bit with the number of employees enrolled in the plans, but the claims themselves are what have a little bit more
Could be up and
volatility.
down.
Correct,
Might
yes.
get all my teeth knocked out or not, huh?
Yes, yes, and so it's kind of interesting. So when you look at the claims, they typically range from about $4,000, about $4,400, up to this last fiscal year, we had one of the claim invoices that was almost $24,000. So it can fluctuate.
Somebody did
quite a bit.
knock his teeth out.
Yeah, right. But typically it averages much lower than that, around 11 or 12,000. So.
Okay, I just thought it'd be interesting to have the people know when they say we're, transferring $55,000,
Yes.
It says it's not out of the general fund, but people don't understand that. I think it's nice to explain that, to show that we have that money sitting there that actually comes from all the employees that pay into it.
Right.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, and the next item is the monthly report of employee
Yeah.
transactions.
And you don't have to come up, Elba, because I went over this with her yesterday. I just think this is a great thing that the public can see if they want to know who's working, who isn't working, who we're hiring, who we're firing, who is retiring. So it's all explained in a page and a half. So printed it out and then talked to Elba yesterday about it. So it's good information for the public to know what we have.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you. If there's no other items to be pulled for further discussion, are there any members of the public who wish to comment on the consent calendar items?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you. Let's move on to item 6A. This is a discussion, consideration, adopt a resolution to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $4 million to $7.5 million in preparation of the vehicle replacements for the Sheriff's Department.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Jessica Leon, County Administration. So the item before you is a resolution for Bank of America master lease. And this is to increase the not to exceed amount by an additional $4 million, bringing the total to 7.5. These additional $4 million would be used mainly for the fire equipment round 4 and sheriff patrol vehicles round 3. And we do allocate a sort of a contingencies in case there's any other leases that we have to do throughout the year. For example, in the 3.5 that we did this year, we did do some very minor IT equipment to make sure that we stay on track of all of that equipment in our current. So with that, I am available for any questions.
Very good. Are there any questions you may have for Jessica regarding this item? Supervisor Wheeler.
I just got a statement, it just makes me feel so good that this board has taken that big step to start replacing the fire equipment. We've always kind of kept the sheriff's cars up pretty good. It's 4th year now and round 4 of our replacement on our fire engines, and some of them were 30 plus years old. I think that our fire department now is probably one of the top ones in the state. I know it is in the valley, but every time I go around one of the stations, it seems like there's some other county or some other city that's inspecting our vehicles. And, seeing where they drove on that last fire, that river fire over by my house this last week, I mean, you should see some of the ground that those new four-wheel drive trucks that we have. I mean, they went up places like that, but, and, you know, and like I said last week, that fire, you know, started within 2 hours, the same day 60 years ago from the Harlow fire. I can just tell you by having a tour of it last week, and that our fire so much stronger and better and more efficient. It didn't get away like the Harlow fire did 60 years ago. Because it, driving through it and everything, you got to see some of the grounds where they stopped that fire. It's totally unbelievable. So I can't thank the CAL FIRE enough. I can't thank our board enough for improving our fire equipment. Thank you.
Very good. Supervisor Frazier.
Yeah, it is impressive to see the new ones going through. It doesn't just look like you're going on a parade route when you see a fire truck out there. But I know one of the things that had been important was keeping the mileage low, or capping the mileage. That was one of the things working with the deputies on early on, when they were talking about when it gets over a certain number of miles, and those cars, when they're in a high rate of speed going to a call, you know, or rattling, and that's not what you want for your public safety, to then have to have our new fire truck go out and turn their car over and extract them. So it's important to keep those vehicles in a good state of repair, and making sure that they have safe vehicles to get to where they're going, because they're going at high speed. So move to approve.
Second.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any members of the public have any comments on this item? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Frazier.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler.
I'm going to say yes, and I just got a notice there's a spot fire up on the fire up there on 820 and road 820 and road 800. So guys are probably sitting with some of those new trucks that are right now putting it out. So just got the notice. So yes.
Chairman Poitras.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you. 6B, this is the park and ride lot in Oakhurst. Mr. Carter.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Jared Carter, Public Works. Yes, this item is for award of a contract for the Oakhurst Park and Ride Lot project. This is a transit-related project to expand the parking lot at the library in Oakhurst to create more parking for folks to be able to park and get on the bus. So the project will include 2 new bus stop shelters there, along with some electric vehicle charging stations. And then, you know, in the process, we'll be trying to correct some of the drainage in that parking lot. And it should be a very nice project once we get it done. So available for any questions.
Very good. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, they're going to fix the parking lot around behind where the fire station used to be. You know, next to the river, you know, where they have their meetings now.
We won't be touching the parking area that's in front of the old fire station or the community room at this
Right,
point.
yeah.
The other part that is adjacent to where we're doing this expansion, that entire parking lot will be resealed and restriped to reconfigure that kind of a little bit of.
I looked at the plans and it showed that it wasn't doing that. Is there any reason why we're not doing it all at once?
Mainly because the transit funds have to be used and associated with that expansion of the parking lot, and that's not a piece of this particular
Not for
area.
overflow parking?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, okay. And have we used this company, this Vision, before?
Avison, yes, we have used
Avison.
them on a few projects. They're a regular bidder on a lot of our projects as well. And they are actually here in Madera, in the Valley area.
Oh, okay. Well, I seen it was Granite and California, American Paving, I mean, bid on it too. So congratulations. That's something I think is going to really benefit everybody up there. Thank you, Jared.
Very good. Thank you. Any other comments from my colleagues? Any comments from members of the public?
Move to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Pending legislation, I'm not aware of any pending legislation that we are going to be discussing today, unless our CAO has anything.
There's none, Chairman. Just remember that the legislature's on summer break through the 16th of August. And I guess we'll get back to the budget.
So we're
At the
safe
state
until
level,
then. Yeah.
You could say that.
Very good. Thank you. Yes.
Public comment on 6B?
Yes.
We didn't call for public comment on.
I thought he did,
I apologize.
did.
because I made the motion after he did it.
Do we need to say that there was a written
Oh,
communication?
I see.
I think is what, it was in support of it from Rhonda Salisbury.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Very good. Okay, so supervisor reports. Supervisor Frazier.
I have my coffee and conversation tomorrow at 8:30. We're going to try a hybrid in-person and Zoom, so you can still get on and do it from Zoom, but it'll also be at the library in the Ranchos. I'm going to bring a projector so that everyone that's there can see everyone that's on. And we may not have anybody on the Zoom, whatever, but bear with us if things don't go exactly how we expect them to. But we'll make it work.
Very good. That's great. Supervisor Rogers. Supervisor Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So last Friday, I was able to meet our U.S. Senator Alex Padilla. He gave a legislative update to a group of folks, and in addition, I received an update from Congressman Costa the Friday prior to that. And then I do want to announce that we will be hosting our first in-person community group. We're having an ice cream social in the Parksdale area. So hopefully we have a good turnout because we are bribing people with ice cream. So
That's, you got it. You know, yeah, that ice cream gets them every time. Good job. Very good. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to thank CAL FIRE again for taking us, Bobby and myself, around through the fire, go down to Bailey Flats, all completely around the whole thing, and in a couple of houses that burnt, and many, many, many houses saved because people did their due diligence and had them cleaned. Because there could have been a lot more houses burnt if it wasn't for two things, CAL FIRE and those people taking care of their homes. So that was really good, and quite a tour, and there was still lots of places burning. And like I said, some of that ground is so steep, it's just unbelievable. There was probably a crew of 10 to 12 firefighters. I mean, it was that steep. It had to be 25, 30% degree. They packed those hoses up from the road up to that, and it was putting out the fire, you know, and those things, that's like 55, 65 pounds they had to pack in their back to get those up there. And then been a lot of new projects coming up in Oakhurst. We met, Bobby and I, and some of the staff met for different ones, and we also had a lunch at Joe Linda's Cornerstone and had Connie from our behavioral health there, and fire starter program. They want to expand that now. They got it in one school. They want to try to put it in all the mountain schools. I'd like to put it in all the schools in Madera County for you to get the funding, so kind of exciting. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I'd like to report that tonight at 6 p.m. we will have a Zoom town hall, and we'll be featuring a couple of folks who are involved in homeless outreach efforts, primarily in the river, and they're folks who actually used to be homeless who are now actively engaged in activity. And as a special bonus, that was announced, that hasn't been announced, but I will be also adding a feature about efforts to clean up the river in terms of the vegetation, some good news there, and to correct some fictitious information that was disseminated in the Madera Tribune last week in regards to funding and what's going on. So it should be very informative. And not only tonight will we be having that information, but we'll be, spreading it out amongst other media. So it's unfortunate that information gets kicked out like that, and asking about what's going on with funding, with flood control. And the reality is we get about $900,000 a year in flood control, but about $700,000 of that goes to the schools through ERAF, which was legislation passed in 1992. So we have a little over $200,000 for flood control issues for several hundred miles of rivers and canals and streams. So there's very, very little money out there. And so anyway, like I said, it's unfortunate, but this is a good educational opportunity. So tune in tonight. And second of all, since today's meeting has been kind of a Eastern Madera County show, I'm happy to announce that our first on-the-road supervisors meeting will be September 14th in the North Fork or Oakhurst area. I think we're working with Bobby to nail down that location. And we were going to do it anyway, but what happened was that's the date of the election. And elections, they said, hey, we'd love to use the chambers for, the election. And it was like, absolutely, and we're planning on having an on-the-road meeting anyway, and so this is just the perfect opportunity. So that's
The 14th, huh?
the 14th of September. Yep, Election Day.
Good.
There you go. So looking forward to that. So with that, our CAO, any comments?
I would just remind everyone that Road 16 is closed from 152 into the city of Chowchilla, so you don't want to make some sort of abortive turn right there. Then I would just suggest go up 99 all the way to Robertson, or go up to 24 and then cut over on South Chowchilla Boulevard, and it will remain closed if it's closed through the plan through the 30th of July, which is 2 Fridays. That's it.
Very good. Thank you. Council Garza.
No report, Chair.
Very good. Clerk of the board.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we will go back to closed session to finish up a couple of items. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. So, what kind of player? Hallie's computer. Taking care.
Oh, good. Goes around the big U-turn.
Ready?
We're ready. Wait, what happened? Wait, I don't know.
Here we go. Well, good morning, everybody. We're back from closed session. And council, is there anything to report out?
There's no reportable action from your closed session today. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And we shall adjourn the meeting. Everybody have a great rest of your day, week, month, year. Thank you.